Oh, YouTube stick here, how you doing? Today's lesson, we're looking at your basic rock groove. So this is for you beginners out there. You guys that are trying to learn to program drums. It's a good starting point, a good reference. And we're going to cover this in a quarter note fashion and an eighth note fashion. So as usual, go to the maplewoodstudio.com website and check in either the blog section or the drum lesson section. I might move all the stuff about, but there'll be a PDF in there along with an MP3, and you'll see this video pasted in there and stuff, so you know you're looking at the right one. So, your basic rock groove. This is the core of, you know, getting up and jamming with your mates. You nail this, forget about drum fills, cymbal accents, all this kind of stuff. If you nail this, you can just sit there in the pocket and learn to groove, which is what drumming's all about. And to get your head around the concept of quarter notes and eighth notes, most of you youngsters out there, that if you're looking at computer DAWs, you know, your digital audio workstation, Logic, Cubase, you're probably used to seeing the piano roll and programming drums, and you see the grid. So the grid is a good point to start to understanding your basic quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes. Those of you that haven't got computers and workstations, all that kind of stuff, just think of a bar, one bar as a big piece of pie. So 4 quarters make a whole. So cut your pie into 4, quarters, stick them all together, you've got a whole. That's your bar. And we just count this really, really simply. It's going 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 quarters, a whole, next bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I said to you, right, we're going to play 4 bars of this exercise, we'd count that pattern 4 times. I hope that's clear. Again, check the PDF that comes with this and it should help you understand. So your basic rock drum beat, like I say, we're going to do this with quarter notes and eighth notes. The most basic form is your quarter notes, and we're going to put a bass drum on the 1 and a 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, so I went around 4 times, so that's, 4 bars. If you haven't got a drum kit, you can just tap this out on your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. When I learned to drum, I didn't have a drum kit for a little while, then I had a real rubbishy practice kit, and eventually I went out and brought a drum kit with my dad, and my mum went mad. It was never coming in the house, and now 20 years later, it's in my house. So that's your basic quarter notes on the bass drum, on the 1 and the 3. So now we do the same with the snare drum, but on the snare we're going to put them on the 2 and the 4. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, we went around 4 times there. 4 bars. So if you put it all together, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bars of real basic rock 1. So, take your time, get it really slow. Make sure everything is dead on. You don't want 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't want that kind of thing. The idea is that everything is on the pulse. 1, 2, 3. Dead on. So the next progression from that is making it an eighth note basic rock drum beat. And again, go back to your vision or visual of a pie. My people that know me, my friends, will laugh at me thinking about pies because I do like a pie. Mainly apple and chocolate and custard and stuff. Anyway, pie. Think of your piece of pie. So it's already in quarters. So now we're going to put it into eighths. So 8 eighths make a whole. Stick them all back together, your pies back together. So the way we count this in drumming terms is we count them as ands. So 1 and 2 and. It's important to remember that that quarter note pulse, the tempo that you play the quarter notes at, stays the same, and we're adding the eighth note between each quarter. So if we were going 1, 2, 3, 4, we'd go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So yeah, that quarter note pulse, as it's called, stays the same. So we don't change that. But going back to the first part of the lesson, the bass drum and the snare drum, they stay in exactly the same places. So if you remember, they're on the 1, 2, 3. They stay there. All we're doing is adding an and note between each one with our right hand on the hi-hat. So I'll play a couple of bars of that really slow for you. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So there you have basic rock 1 with quarter notes on the hi-hat and eighth notes on the hi-hat. So just practice this nice and slow. You're looking for that good, precise accuracy. You want to be on the beat, on the quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I say, if you haven't got a drum kit, air drum, tap your legs, whatever. You don't need a drum kit to learn these basics. Obviously it helps, and later on when we look at stick technique and foot technique, you do kind of need access to stuff for that, but to learn the basics of the rhythm and to program this, for example, you can work it out by tapping. So if you were going to program this, I'll also stick a MIDI file in the zip file for you guys to download to accompany this. You'll see that the bass drum's on the quarter and the snare drum's on the quarter and the hi-hat will be on the eighth notes throughout one bar. And like I say, if you've got access to Cubase, Logic, all that kind of stuff, it's a useful tool for getting your head around understanding the basic concept of eighth notes, 16th notes, quarter notes, all that kind of stuff. So just to recap, we've got our basic rock 1 drum beat with quarter notes on the hi-hat and eighth notes on the hi-hat. I'll play 2 bars of each for you now, and that's today's lesson. I hope you found it useful. Stick out.